Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Good Problems to Have with David Nima. Your host, David Nima, happiness expert, where we use a trifecta of diet, exercise, and mindset best practices to achieve happiness. Make sure to check out my book, Good Problems to Have, on Amazon, The Anatomy of Contemporary Happiness, where we discuss all of these best practices. And in today's episode, I am going to be discussing Chapter 6, which is about diet. Okay? Chapter 6, it's a very informative chapter, and I think we all know that food has a great impact on our overall health and happiness. And there's just such an industry right now surrounding food. And my goal for Chapter 6 and Good Problems to Have is to help you kind of demystify some of these, food best practices that are in the marketplace today and help you just eat simpler and better and essentially achieve happiness without some of the drama that's involved. So what we want to do, and I hope that I don't get sued for this, I am going to kind of talk about two influencers in the food and health and wellness space. And I am going to kind of give you my critique of why I think these guys are not really helping you as much as you think they might be. Okay, so the first person is Flav City. This is Bobby Parrish. He's been kind of popping up on my feed. And he's kind of like, he actually has really cool videos where he goes through the supermarket and he analyzes the ingredients on the back of the packages to let you know exactly what's in the ingredients and whether or not, organic ketchup is any better than regular ketchup. He really helps you look out for high fructose syrup that's in a lot of foods. And I think those are very, very cool, informative videos. But one of the issues that I have with Bobby's method is that you're still seeking out products that have ingredients on the back. And, sure enough, he has an app that helps you kind of, read the ingredients and it'll tell you whether or not this is quote unquote healthy or not. But this is, I think, the wrong way of thinking about how to put food, in your house and in your mouth. Because as I mentioned in the book, you don't want to get anything. You want to try to avoid all foods that have any kind of list of ingredients in the back. You want to try to avoid all of that and try to get foods that are whole foods that essentially you know exactly what you're getting, and they usually have one ingredient in it, which is the thing that you're getting. So when if you want to go on this kind of fishing expedition and essentially be, involved in this kind of cat and mouse game with the food marketing people and the FDA and the regulation to know what certain words mean and all these kind of scientific ingredients are in the back. Is this one good for me? Or is that one? This is not a scalable dieting strategy to go on an expedition hunt, essentially, in the grocery store to find the right ingredients for the right products for you. You're just kind of, playing the game. You're playing into the game, so to speak, and you're continuing to get, in my opinion, bad ingredients in your food, and you're overpaying in terms of good ingredients per ounce of, dollars. How much, per ounce of the good ingredients you're getting. So let's watch a video of Bobby's and I'll talk more about this.
There's some really great Target deals now. Let's go shopping. I would never think a carrot cake truffle bar would be Bobby approved, but it is. And it's $2 off that price. This is Honey Mama's. It's sweetened with organic.
So look, as you can see, he picks a product out of the shelf and he says that this is a Bobby approved product. I mean, this list of ingredients here, they all look nice here, but I think, again, you're just like, this is not something that I think your body can even handle, this many kind of ingredients packed in this amount of food. I mean, you can have coconut oil once in a while. You can have walnuts. You can have, a carrot powder. I don't know what that is. Vanilla extract, we know what that is. But, you can have some of these organic cloves. These things by themselves might be, or as an ingredient, one ingredient added to a dish might be really good. But this is just like, and you don't know what the proportions are of these ingredients. proportions. And this, I mean, I'm not a fan of carrot cake regardless, but this is the kind of stuff that you don't want to be eating. Maybe you can eat it once in a while, but this is not something that you want to add to your diet as a staple product, and you're paying $5 for who knows how many ounces and a bunch of stuff. You want something sweet? Have some carrot, have a piece of fruit, have some honey, as we'll talk about later. This is not, and this has honey in it, but I wonder how much honey. It doesn't tell you the proportions at all.
Raw honey. There's real carrots, real raisins,
I mean,
classy, and that's it. Overnight oats that are Bobby approved, and 50% off is a great deal. Sweetened with dates, real.
I mean, again, like this is just, almond milk is essentially water and almonds, right? So it's called almond milk, which is it just sounds better than almond water. Because there's no such thing as almond milk. There's no milk, coming from almonds.
Vanilla, not.
And it's just more processed foods that, I think that you're well advised to stay away from, again, than rather than playing this cat and mouse game and fishing expedition in the supermarket of whether or not this thing is good for you. And it's not good for you. Even if Bobby that's telling you it's good for you, in my opinion, this is not something that you want to be eating for 10 years or 50 years.
For flavor, but more importantly, the oats are glyphosate free. I'd scoop it.
BS.
50% off Starbucks iced coffee is a good deal. Check the ingredients. It's just coffee and water. And
Okay, so coffee and water, that's good. Now, this is packaged coffee. I mean, you can easily make coffee at home, but that's something where if it's purely just coffee and water, I'd be more inclined to, pick that up off the shelf.
make sure you check the ingredients, because if we grab the subtly sweet one, 12 grams of sugar.
Look at that. See? This is...
Sweet. But I prefer this deal. 25% off organic cold brew concentrate. Fun fact, cold brew has less acid than hot coffee, so it's easier on your tummy. And this stuff is strong, it's delicious. You add it to some milk and you're good to go.
So I definitely wouldn't add it to milk. I'm having black coffee right now. And so I mean, just drink. When we're going to talk about beverages that I discussed in the book, basic beverages, black coffee. Black coffee is a good product, is a good item to have. You can make it at home. It costs nothing. I mean, you can purchase it at the store. In fact, it's actually my favorite thing to buy at Starbucks because it's the healthiest thing to get at Starbucks, and it's one of the least expensive, especially per ounce that you're getting. And you're just getting coffee. That's it. You're getting nothing, no sugar, no milk. Just black coffee. This is one of the best things for you. It's not promoted much, and this kind of goes into the broader narrative of this video, which is that the reason the industry doesn't promote these simple foods is because there's no money in it. There's no money in it. Bobby has an app. There's no money in it. Bobby has an app where you can go and download his app and again, demystify the ingredients list through his app, and he'll read it for you and tell you whether it's good. So he's got a financial incentive in terms of helping you, continue on this complex food journey instead of just keeping it simple. Black coffee. He's not going to make money if he just tells you drink black coffee, right? I mean, that's just a fact. Beer, simple beer. Beer is a good drink for you. It's simple. It's one of the best alcoholic beverages that you can have. Water, of course. Water, perfect thing to drink. Drink it. And during the day, you can simply have a lot of water, and you don't need to go on this kind of flavor expedition in the juice aisle, or the Target aisle and kind of be hit with all these various juices. You don't need all this. I mean, these juices back here, everything on this shelf is full of sugar. He happened to pick that one product, which is the coffee and water product just from Starbucks. But as you can see, everything else, he's not talking about them because this is all sugar back here. So everything, this entire shelf is sugar. And it's just not doing you any favors at all in terms of even coming into this section of the store.
I know soup season is technically over, but I'll take 15% off all Amy's soups. This is one of the most Bobby approved cans.
So again, he says one of the most Bobby approved cans. This is the kind of stuff like you cannot be having canned soup on a regular basis and think that you're going to live a healthy life. Okay. Soup is one of the easiest things to make at home. And no matter how Bobby approved this is going to be full of salt, full of sugar, and you're still unsure about what the real ingredients are that are in there or their proportions.
And soups. Look what this is made with. Clean ingredients and extra virgin olive oil.
I mean, come on. This is, I mean, it looks nice. Yeah, it's definitely looks like pretty good. It's on the good side of canned soups. I'm not going to disagree with that. But my whole motto is, you know, if you want tomatoes in your dish, the best thing to do is to have raw tomatoes in your dish. If you're going to use canned tomatoes, there are usually kind of different styles of canned tomatoes that you can get. You can get whole peeled tomatoes. You can get crushed tomatoes. You can get diced tomatoes, and you can almost get something like a tomato puree. And in my opinion, you're better off, assuming you had to get canned tomatoes, you're better off getting the whole peeled tomatoes. And the reason for that is because they haven't been messed around with as much as the diced tomatoes, for example. I mean, there's a couple of extra steps for the diced tomatoes that the whole tomatoes don't go through. And whatever processing that the, factory needs to take the tomato from the farm and put it into a can and kind of seal that can up, and so that it can sit on the shelf for 6 months and still be good to eat, that, there's less steps involved, right? At least with that whole peeled tomato. So when it comes to canned soup and anything in this aisle, again, this is just, in my opinion, terrible diet exercise patterns in terms of buying anything. Do you think chicken broth is good for you? I mean, you can easily make your own broth at home. Maybe a little bit of bouillon here and there. But again, less is more when it comes to cooking. Just using very simple, plain ingredients. One of the most common ingredients that I use in my cooking are salt and olive oil. I mean, those things go a long way, whether you're making soup or steak or whatever it is that you're making. So, and again, these are the kind of products that there's not that much money to be made if the grocery store just sold salt and olive oil to people. Not to mention people will live healthier, and that's against certain other interests in the marketplace. But this entire aisle is, in my opinion, not a good place. Another good place that you don't want to spend your time at all as you're shopping. What I like to do when I'm shopping at the grocery store, as I mentioned in the book, Good Problems to Have, under the diet section, is I shop the circumference of the store. Usually, and this is not a hard and fast rule, but usually the circumference of the store has more fresh foods, like the vegetable aisle and the meat aisle and the dairy aisle. I don't have any dairy, but things like that. And a lot of these kind of packaged foods are in the aisles, okay, rather than the circumference of the store, assuming you have a kind of a supermarket layout. So you can walk into any aisle, and I'll tell you, you can look in the back here, and everything that you're seeing here, he's pointing out this one good product in the aisle, maybe, and maybe this is not as bad as some of the other ones, even though I can't see the bottom here. But everything here is all salt and sugar, and not the kind of good salt and sugar that you want.
The best on the market. Compare it to something like this. Organic lentil soup, yes, but half a teaspoon of sugar per.
Notice that he didn't show the sugar content or the salt content in the other product, but nevertheless, as you can see, these things are filled with sugar and just terrible stuff. Okay, so let's move on to another health expert here. So this is another person. His name is Dan Go at FitFounder. He's on Twitter. He's got a bunch of followers. And, he's, providing, I guess, high performance coach to entrepreneurs. All about, health optimization, as he says here in his bio. So I ran into his, one of his posts here, and decided to kind of include it into the video, which is the top 10 supplements I take to optimize my health and body. So again, this is the kind of stuff that my guess is either Dan, and I don't know this for sure, it's just my opinion, he's either making, there's a financial incentive for him for you to buy these supplements. He might be selling them on his website. Or maybe he's just misguided about what is truly a healthy diet. Because I'm here to tell you, anything on this list is probably going to be terrible for you and is not a sustainable diet pattern to have over a lifetime. Okay? Maybe if you're, I don't know, at some point in your life, you can, for a quick, when you're really trying to make some kind of change in your physiology, you can use some supplements to supplement that type of effort temporarily. But you can't be on a constant, in my opinion, you cannot be on a constant dietary supplement kind of routine. Not to mention that dietary supplements are really filled with really nothing, and they're not FDA approved. And I think, in my opinion, are one of the biggest ripoffs in the entire health industry. But let's kind of go through these one by one. So the number one is whey protein. And again, all processed food. This is terrible stuff to be putting in your body, in my opinion, for even a day, not to mention as a part of a regular exercise routine. I mean, if you want to kind of gain some muscle and weight, why don't you smush a banana together with some almonds, maybe throw some peanut butter in there, even though that's another processed item. I would say banana, smashed banana, almonds, and honey can give you a lot of good energy and protein in the morning. And that's it. Banana, almonds, and honey with water or black coffee. Creatine, one of the most researched supplements on the planet, helps improve my strength, muscle performance, and brain function. Crap. I mean, you guys can research do your own research in terms of the negative effects of creatine. But I think even like when you do this research, you could potentially get lost, and there's arguments for it and there's arguments against it. And this, or is it like, it's the least, bad of two kind of things. If so, it's not as bad as some of the other things on the market, but that doesn't mean that it's good for you. So again, I would just stay away from anything. If it's processed, I'd stay away from it. Why would I put, I'm sure there's people have been building muscle for thousands of years, human beings, and there was no creatine on the market. So there's got to be other ways that you can build muscle without creatine. Green. So I love a picture like this. Okay. This looks really good and healthy. But again, first of all, even if you're taking apples, in my opinion, and extracting it into juice, you are making changes into kind of the cellular, at the molecular level. You're changing the physiology of the apple by creating its juice, and it's probably not as good for you. If you think about, let's say consuming, 10,000 apples over a lifetime, let's just say. If all of those apples were juiced versus, and I'm talking about anything else in it, just apple becoming apple juice versus eating the apple as a whole with the skin and the peel, I would say eating the apple as a whole is better for you than juicing the apple. In my opinion, just juicing is not really the best thing to do because, again, you're completely changing the physiology of the product. Even though you're putting, let's say, bananas and strawberries and apples in there and you're blending them up to make a smoothie, which of course is very popular in the health and wellness industry, you're just better off eating the banana, eating the strawberry, eating the apple. Why do you have to kind of smush it all together into it? I mean, is this stuff that bad that you can't just bite into it? So there's probably a lot of benefits and advantages to eating whole fruits versus juicing them. So that's one thing. Secondly, this green stuff, again, it's just bullshit processed powder packed with vitamins and minerals and antioxidants and probiotics to support good health. This is the kind of stuff that you really, really want to watch out for because, again, it's going to cost you a lot of money to even buy this thing, and it's not a sustainable, scalable, long-term diet plan. Eating an apple is. Magnesium glycinate. So again, these things, studies suggest that 50% of Americans are magnesium deficient due to Western diet. Well, that might be true, and that's probably because of all the crap that's in the supermarket and things that are people being fed. This stuff, I take 400 to 600 grams of magnesium. Magnesium can support overall health function, shown to reduce anxiety while improving quality of sleep. So does working out, so again, you don't want to kind of go down this path, right? Again, some of these claims they may have a kind of a little bit of truth to them, can support. It doesn't say that it means that it's going to help you specifically. These are very loosely worded claims, and I'm actually an expert in false advertising and truth in advertising law, and I know about claim substantiation, and I know about mere puffery, and I know that health claims are more closely scrutinized than other types of claims when it comes to product advertising. So there's a whole art and a science that goes behind making these health claims just right, so that they're not deemed kind of false statements when it comes to truth in advertising law. And, it's easy to get fooled by and think, 50% of magnesium are magnesium deficient. I'm 1 out of 2. I mean, chances are I'm probably magnesium deficient, right? So this is to stay away from this stuff. Xylem husk, or however you pronounce that. Again, this is just, it sounds good, right? It sounds really kind of new age, and this is just so good. It's a tablespoon daily. Why don't you have a tablespoon of olive oil daily? That's one of the best things that you can do for you. Just have a tablespoon of pure, good olive oil every day. Okay, no a doctor, I think, will disagree with that, putting that into your diet. But a lot of these nutritionists don't recommend it because you probably have olive oil already in your house, and you're just going to take a spoonful. Then nobody makes money from it. Then you have to understand. Here's the rule. Until someone tells you to take a spoonful of olive oil daily, don't trust anything else they say. Because if they haven't given you that basic advice when it comes to these health gurus and these nutritionists, then it's either, out of malice or ignorance, that they don't know that taking a spoonful of olive oil should precede you taking a spoonful of this, psyllium husk that just probably recently hit the market, and God, nobody knows what's inside, and it's just completely BS. Okay. Here's another hard to pronounce word: a natural substance considered to help the body adapt to stress, benefits and goods. So if this is a natural substance, again, take the natural version of it. You don't need the powdered version. And that's another issue here. If it's a natural substance, then, as you can see, the theme here in this video has been, eat the apple, right? You don't need apple powder, okay? And this is the same, whatever this product is, if it is a natural thing that's been in existence for hundreds of years and it grows out of the ground, it's a natural product, it's not a synthetic product, then I'm sure it's got a natural source. And that source should be available. And don't talk to me about, how expensive it is or how hard it is to get, because if this stuff's available, that stuff has to be available too. Turmeric is one of the only things on this list that I agree with. It's a good product, and I have it in my diet too. I like to have a spoon, just powder some turmeric into various kind of foods. It's good for you, and I like turmeric. This is a good one, approved. So omega fish oil. So this is another kind of very trendy health food, fish oils, and everyone will talk to you about all the benefits of fish oils. And I think they're right in terms of the general benefits of some fish oils. And the place to get that is sardines. But nobody's selling you sardines. Sardines are one of the most inexpensive items in the grocery store. They last for months in your shelf without, they have a shelf life that's tremendously long. They're a good emergency kind of food. And they're natural and organic, and they're natural. They're just natural sardines. They grow and they're canned. And assuming that they're responsibly kind of farmed, again, that's where I get my fish oil from, sardines. You don't need pills like this to be having fish oil. And again, who knows how these pills were made, what's in them, and it's just, and they're expensive. Here's another, shiny looking pill, and talking about, if you get plenty of sun exposure out the day, you may not need this, but I live in Canada, so it's necessary. Again, I think that if you live in Canada and you have less sun exposure, first of all, the sun hits all places of the earth relatively in equal amounts of sunlight. Now, some of the sun might be behind clouds, but that doesn't, you're still getting sun rays. So you don't need to necessarily be in, sunny weather to have the vitamin D benefits of having light and sun and daytime kind of hits your skin. Even with your shirt on, it still kind of goes through your skin. So, I don't know what he means by that, but if you have, let's say you live in a place that you don't get outside much. Let's say, you got to work that into your routine. Not take some pill at God knows what the price is for the rest of your life, or how long you're going to be taking these pills for, so that you can supplement your lack of sunlight. If this is a concern for you particularly, you should maybe consider moving. Okay, so this is not again, these are just kind of not healthy best practices, in my opinion. Collagen. Okay, so again, another thing that seems to kind of sound good, but you're much better off getting this from actual kind of proteins and meats that have a high collagen content in them, rather than some kind of powdered collagen. So that's it. So this is kind of the list here. And so this is the kind of stuff that I think you're well advised to watch out for. And kind of going back to a good problem to have and kind of the stuff that I eat a lot of honey. In the morning, before I go for a walk, I have basically a couple spoons of just honey by itself. I just dip the spoon into a bottle of honey or jar of honey, and I eat it. You know, I don't touch anything. I don't put it on bread. I don't add anything to it. I just have that's like a couple of spoons of honey, just like this, for example, and I drink some water, and then I go on my morning exercise routine. And that usually holds me over until I have a small breakfast after I work out. So, you know, you don't need some kind of mystery protein shake when you wake up, getting all that bullshit, powders and taking all these fruits and stripping them from their natural kind of structures and turning them into a juice to drink, before having a workout in the morning. Honey and water will go a long way. Vegetables. I mean, when I'm shopping in the grocery store, one of the main things I buy is essentially a little bit of protein, like some meats, some basic meats, buy some basic vegetables, and, maybe some beer and eggs and bread, and I'm coming home. And water and things like that. There's no reason to go and, on a fishing expedition in between the aisles. If I need some canned tomatoes, if I want some canned beans, these are, again, canned products that have one thing in them, right? Beans, tomatoes, sardines, for example. I buy pickles, right? A jar of pickles. That's just literally pickles in brine. So those products are good for you. Vegetables and the meats are kind of the primary items, right? That every time you go to the grocery store, these are the kind of things that you probably want to pick up and take home with you, rather than finding these kind of instant meals and stuff like that in between the aisles of the store. Black coffee, we talked about it. It's a fantastic item to eat. It's drink. It's very good for you. It's one of the best weight loss things that you can do out there. Just drink black coffee and go for walks. But again, people don't push this stuff because there's no money in it. There's no industry in it. That's why you're getting pushed all these kind of mystery drinks. Black coffee, hot black coffee, one of the best things that you can drink. And that's my recommendation. Beer, we talked about it. It's good. Water, very good, plain and simple. Nuts, again, this is fantastic. If you want to go on a hike, grab some nuts, grab a banana, grab some water and go on a hike. You don't need a granola bar, like those little packaged bars that are filled with salt and sugar and cost, almost maybe sometimes 10 times more per ounce of nutritional value than grabbing a handful of nuts or just plain almonds. So these are the kind of things that you really want to watch out for when you see these influencers online talking about health and wellness practices and health best practices, dietary best practices. This stuff they're not sustainable best practices, right? You can't be going on a fishing expedition in the supermarket looking at the back of labels for the rest of your life, okay? Same thing with these dietary supplements. You get on these things. I mean, how long are you going to take them for, and how much are you going to pay? Not to mention that I don't think you're getting any of the actual nutritional value that you otherwise would get from actually having the raw source of the thing, which is things like sardines, olive oil, all the things that we talked about. So I hope you found this video helpful. And, just to kind of get a summary of everything that I discussed here and some of my best practices for diet, that's in chapter 6 of Good Problems to Have. Make sure you pick up your copy. It's in Amazon. Like and subscribe to this video and follow GPH Lifestyle, Good Problems to Have, GPH Lifestyle on Instagram and YouTube, where I will be posting more content to help, spread love, peace, joy, health, wealth, and happiness to everyone, 1 nanosecond at a time. This is your host, David Nima, with Good Problems to Have, and I'll see you guys in the next video.